Hi, I'm Catherine Huang from MIT Chief. Today our guest is Mr. Sawka, Director of Business Development of Harvard University Office of Technology Development. Hi, Sawka. How are you doing today?
Fine, thank you.
First of all, on behalf of MIT Chief, I would like to thank you for accepting our invitation to be a speaker of our upcoming annual conference. You will be speaking in the panel of incubators for startups. The panelists are both from industry commercial incubators like InnoSpring and Plug and Play, and also from universities like Harvard and MIT. Can you share with our audience with the mission of Harvard Technology Development Office, where you're working for, and what functions it provides to encourage creation and innovation across all developments of Harvard University?
Sure. Thank you.
Yeah.
And thank you for inviting me to the MIT Chief. At Harvard OTD, or the Office of Technology Development, what we're trying to do is a microcosm of what the greater university is trying to do. So the university's mission is to create knowledge and disseminate that knowledge. And our goal within OTD is to actually take that knowledge and apply it practically into commercial applications. So take the idea to an invention to an innovation. And we do that a number of ways. From an education standpoint, to the broader university, we put on workshops, seminars to educate generally technical individuals on how to commercialize ideas. And then more specifically, we actually in our office work with principal investigators in their labs to set a strategic framework for the research they're doing. And the way we add value to Harvard and to society is sort of three main ways. We will get sponsored research in from industry to fund the ideas, and then we'll try to license those ideas or form startups from those.
Thank you. Harvard has been a pioneer in many research areas. For example, in Harvard Medical School and its affiliate teaching hospital like Beth Israel, Brigham Women, Children's, and Dana-Farber, and etc. A lot of researchers are involved with translational research that brings research results from bench experiment to bedside clinic application. Can you talk about what roles your office plays to facilitate such transfer process, and can you give us an example to help us understand how the process going on?
Yes, so in addition to the three methods that I mentioned before, the sponsored research and then the licensing or the startups, Harvard's done a unique experiment about 4 years ago and formed what they call a biomedical accelerator fund. So it's an internal venture capital fund, if you will, where Harvard will take ideas that aren't quite ready for industry or a venture capital firm to pick up and provide the capital necessary to do certain experiments. So, for example, if there's a small molecule therapeutic that needs animal studies or another study, we will provide funding to that program, and oftentimes we'll contract with leading CROs in China to do the work for the Harvard professor. Well, the university maintains ownership of the intellectual property. And then ultimately, if we can advance that technology, it'll be ready with more value for a company to pick up or to license. And we're actually doing that successfully this year with a company in China, which it'll be a startup in China that went through this accelerator program.
Okay, thank you. In your opinion, what is the biggest difference between a commercial incubator and a university program or department that help lab research and innovative ideas get turned into products or services?
I think it's just one of timing and focus. Both the university incubator and a commercial incubator are trying to commercialize innovations. And where we have, I'd say, a slight benefit at the university perspective is we have the benefit of time, whereas a market-based incubator, they want to take something with probably a well-defined market and get it to the next stage of development very quickly. Whereas for university, we may not know the market, so our inflection point is to take a probably horizontal or broad-based technology and figure out which vertical to go after. So we're sort of a pre-incubator for what I would call the commercial incubator. And we also don't have to be quite as focused initially on where the application is used right away, because we don't have, so to speak, the financial pressure on us. But the end goal is the same, to try and take ideas and get them to innovation as fast as possible. And if everything works correctly, we should be complementary, not competitive.
Thank you. So let's run to the last question. Before taking the current position at Harvard, you had extensive industry experience in business development and R&D. You were also CEO of a startup company. So what suggestions would you like to offer to our young entrepreneurs and professionals to their career development based on your diverse experience both in industry and academia?
Probably the main theme is that innovation is all about making connections, and whether someone comes at it from a technology push or a market pull perspective, and those are two sides that are always competing against each other, it really doesn't matter which philosophy you believe in. It's how do you find problems, and this is going to sound sort of backwards, but how do you find problems for solutions? The problems being market opportunities and the solutions being the technologies. And innovation is really just the iteration of trying to match technology with markets. And more often than not, the big innovations come from taking a technology and applying it to a problem it was never intended for. So if you believe that premise, then what I've learned over the years is, one, you need to be determined because it's a very iterative process. You need to be optimistic because there's going to be more false trails that you go down than positive ones, and flexible to constantly change how you're looking at things. I guess most importantly is it's more important to continue moving forward with less than perfect information than to try and worry about accuracy. And in fact, at MIT, where I got my graduate degree, the best advice I got, which is applied throughout my career, is actually as long as you're with an order of magnitude, you're fine. Which may sound odd coming from an engineering school, but it applies generally to innovation. And the point being, as long as you're moving in the right direction, keep moving and don't worry about getting too perfect at the start.
Thank you. Mr. Sawka, thank you for taking your time to do this interview with us. We are looking forward to seeing you in our upcoming conference.
Thank you very much.
Goodbye.
So I should have asked